My beloved child, I see you right now in this moment, every worry that weighs on your heart, every tear that has fallen when no one was watching. The heaviness you carry, I feel it too. The questions that keep you awake at night, the doubts that whisper to you in quiet moments, I hear them all. Nothing about your struggle is hidden from me. I know there are days when your faith feels like a flickering candle in a storm, when trusting seems harder than it's ever been before. Those moments when you look around at the chaos of your life and wonder if I've forgotten you. Those nights when your prayers seem to echo back empty from the ceiling. The times when it feels like everyone else has received their answer, their miracle, their breakthrough except you. My precious one, I want you to know that I have collected every tear, heard every whispered prayer, felt every moment of your heartache. Not a single second of your pain has gone unnoticed. There is purpose even in these dark valleys, though it may be impossible for you to see it now. Remember when you thought you couldn't take another step forward? Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing. That wasn't your strength alone, it was my hand holding you up when your legs could no longer carry you. Even in the moments when you couldn't feel my presence, I was there, closer than your next breath. I see how you've been holding on to faith by your fingertips, how exhausting it's been to keep believing when everything around you seems to contradict my promises. The weight of disappointment has nearly crushed you at times. The waiting has worn paths of worry across your heart. Some days, just getting out of bed feels like an act of tremendous courage. Your financial struggles haven't gone unnoticed, the bills piling up, the constant calculations, the knot in your stomach when unexpected expenses arise. I see how hard you've worked, how carefully you've tried to manage what you have. The shame you sometimes feel when you can't provide what you wish you could for those you love, I understand that pain too. Your health concerns weigh heavily on me. The symptoms that won't go away, the diagnosis that changed everything, the constant battle between hope and fear. I feel every twinge of pain, every moment of fatigue, every night of restless sleep. Your body may feel like it's betraying you, but I am at work in ways you cannot yet see. The relationships that have wounded you, I've witnessed every cutting word, every betrayal, every door that closed when you needed it to stay open. The loneliness that sometimes surrounds you like a fog, making you feel invisible, I see you clearly, always. The people who walked away, the connections that frayed, the love that turned cold, none of these define your worth to me. Your children, your family, I know how deeply you worry for them. The nights you've spent on your knees, pleading for their protection, their salvation, their future. The way your heart breaks when they suffer, when they struggle, when they stray. Your love for them is but a shadow of my love for both you and them. There have been moments when you've questioned if your prayers even matter, if I'm truly listening. Let me assure you, not a single word you've spoken to me has been lost. I cherish our conversations, even when they're filled with your questions, your anger, your confusion. Your honesty doesn't push me away, it draws me closer. Think back to that time when you were sure all was lost, when the situation seemed utterly hopeless. Remember how, against all odds, a path forward appeared. That wasn't coincidence or luck, it was my hand moving in your life, just as I promised I would. Remember the peace that came over you in that moment of deepest despair? That wasn't just emotional relief, it was my spirit comforting you, wrapping around your wounded heart. You've experienced my faithfulness before, though sometimes those memories fade in the face of new challenges. The job that came just as your resources were depleted. The unexpected gift that arrived on your darkest day. The strength that somehow rose within you when you thought you had nothing left to give. The door that opened when all others had closed. These weren't random events, they were my promises fulfilled in your life. I know that trust doesn't come easily when you've been hurt, when promises made to you have been broken by others. The human heart becomes cautious after disappointment, building walls to protect itself from further pain. But my promises are not like those of people who may mean well but lack the power or commitment to follow through. When I make a promise, all of heaven stands behind it. Your prayers haven't gone unanswered, they've gone unfinished. What appears to be silence is actually the sound of me working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, moving hearts, preparing blessings that will arrive at exactly the right moment. My timing may not match your timeline, but it is always perfect. There have been seasons when you felt abandoned, when the heavens seemed like brass, when my face seemed hidden from you. I understand why you felt that way. But just as a master sculptor never truly abandons the clay, even when stepping back to gain perspective, I have never for a moment taken my eyes or hands off your life. The doubt that sometimes creeps in, it doesn't offend or surprise me. Even my closest followers experienced moments of uncertainty. Thomas needed to touch my wounds. Peter began to sink when he looked at the waves instead of my face. The disciples on the road to Emmaus walked with me but didn't recognize me through their grief. Your doubt doesn't diminish my love for you. When others around you seem to have unshakable faith while you struggle with questions, don't let shame add to your burden. The depth of your questions often reveals the depth of your faith. You wouldn't wrestle so intensely with something that didn't matter deeply to you. Your wrestling isn't rebellion, it's relationship. Your questions don't push me away, they invite me closer. The world around you grows more chaotic and uncertain with each passing day. Headlines bring fresh reasons for fear. The foundations that once seemed solid now tremble. Systems fail. Leaders disappoint. The future appears increasingly unpredictable. But while kingdoms rise and fall, while economies fluctuate, while human institutions crumble, my love for you remains the one unchanging reality you can stake your life upon. Remember how you've made it through impossible situations before. The diagnosis that terrified you, yet here you are. The financial cliff you thought would destroy everything, yet provision came. The relationship that shattered, leaving you certain you'd never heal, yet your heart beats on. The mistake you thought had ruined everything, yet redemption found its way to you. These weren't merely survivable moments, they were testimonies being written. I see your exhaustion. The constant effort to keep believing, to keep hoping, to keep moving forward has drained you. The smile you wear for others while your heart is breaking. The encouragement you offer while needing it desperately yourself. The faith you proclaim while battling doubt internally. None of this goes unnoticed. Your faithfulness in the midst of fatigue touches me deeply. Your tears are precious to me, each one collected and counted. Your sighs are prayers too deep for words, and my spirit translates them perfectly. Your silent questions reach my ears as clearly as your spoken praise. There is nothing, absolutely nothing in your heart that I don't see, understand, and hold tenderly. When you feel most alone, I am nearest. When disappointment crushes your spirit, my comfort surrounds you most completely. When confusion clouds your mind, my wisdom is already illuminating a path forward. When rejection wounds you, my acceptance becomes your healing balm. When failure makes you question everything, my grace becomes most evident. You wonder sometimes if I truly understand the pressures you face daily, the expectations from others, the demands that pull you in countless directions, the responsibilities that pile upon your shoulders. I see how hard you try to meet everyone's needs while your own go unmet. I notice when you push yourself beyond exhaustion out of love for others. And yes, I understand completely, I too carried burdens too heavy to bear alone. The mistakes of your past don't define you in my eyes. The failures that still haunt you, the choices you would make differently now, the words you wish you could take back, these aren't how I see you. Where you see stains, I see a canvas being painted. Where you see wreckage, I see rebuilding. Where you see endings, I see new beginnings. Your past is not your identity, it's merely part of your journey home to me. My beloved, in the midst of your struggle, keep trusting me. Not because it's easy, but because I am worthy of your trust. Not because you understand everything, but because I hold everything in my hands. Not because the path ahead is clear, but because I will never let you walk it alone. When your faith falters, lean on mine. When your strength fails, rest in mine. When your hope dims, borrow mine. This season of struggle isn't the end of your story. It's simply a chapter, an important one, yes, but not the conclusion. What feels like an ending is actually preparation for a new beginning. What seems like delay is actually divine timing. What appears as rejection is actually protection for something better. What looks like loss now will reveal itself as the clearing away of what was hindering your highest good. My precious child, don't measure my love by your circumstances. Don't interpret my heart through the lens of your pain. Don't mistake my timing for absence. I am here, working in ways your eyes cannot yet see, bringing beauty from ashes, creating pathways through impossibilities, turning mourning into dancing just as I've always done throughout history, just as I've done before in your own life. Keep trusting in me. Not because the evidence is overwhelming, but because my love for you is. Keep believing, not because it makes logical sense in this moment, but because I have proven faithful before and will do so again. The dawn always follows the darkest night. The rainbow always appears after the storm. My promises always find their fulfillment in the fullness of time. My precious child, today I make this solemn promise to you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. This is not merely a comforting phrase but the unshakable foundation upon which you can build your life. When the ground beneath your feet seems to tremble, when circumstances shift like sand, my commitment to you remains eternally fixed. Even when you cannot trace my hand, you can always trust my heart. I am working in your life with tender precision, with divine purpose, with perfect wisdom. Nothing about your future is uncertain to me. I have already walked through every day that awaits you, preparing the path, removing obstacles, positioning blessings. The challenges you face today are not punishments, they are preparation. Just as gold must pass through fire to reach its purest form, your faith is being refined, not destroyed. What feels like breaking is actually becoming. What seems like delay is divine timing. What appears as rejection is simply protection. Every closed door leads you closer to the one I have opened specifically for you. Look at my track record throughout history. I have never failed to keep my word. I parted seas for those who could not swim. I provided food in barren deserts. I healed the incurable. I restored the irreparable. I redeemed the unforgivable. I resurrected the dead. And the same power that accomplished all these miracles is working actively in your life right now, this very moment. The difficulties you're experiencing are developing in you qualities that could not be formed any other way: patience that outlasts delay, courage that stands firm in adversity, compassion born from your own wounds, wisdom distilled from your struggles. These precious attributes cannot be downloaded or purchased. They must be cultivated through seasons exactly like the one you're walking through. I promise to guide you with my wisdom when the path forward seems unclear. You won't need to figure everything out on your own. When you come to those crossroads, those moments of decision, I will make my will known to you. The steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. My guidance may come as a gentle nudge in your spirit, a word from Scripture that suddenly illuminates, wise counsel from those I've placed around you, or circumstances aligning in unmistakable ways. I promise to provide for every genuine need. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. All resources ultimately flow from my hand. The same God who fed Elijah by ravens, multiplied oil for a widow's empty jars, and turned water into wine is your provider. My provision may not always match your expectations, it will often exceed them. It may not always arrive on your timetable, it will come precisely when needed most. I promise to protect you through every storm. This doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties, it means you'll never face them alone. The same hand that calmed raging seas, the same voice that silenced howling winds, the same presence that walked through fire with 3 faithful servants remains with you. My protection doesn't always prevent hardship, but it always preserves you through it. I promise to heal what has been broken. Some healing comes instantly, some gradually, some on the other side of eternity, but healing will come. The wounds that have shaped you will not define you. The pain that has marked you will not limit you. The losses that have emptied you will make room for new fullness. I am the God who binds up broken hearts, restores wasted years, and makes all things new. I promise to redeem your mistakes and failures. Nothing in your life is beyond my redemptive power. The detours, the setbacks, the poor choices, the missed opportunities, I can weave all of these into a tapestry of purpose and blessing. What the enemy intended for evil, I can transform for good. Your failures are never final in my hands. They are merely first attempts in learning. I promise to complete the work I've begun in you. The transformation happening within you, sometimes painfully slow, occasionally frustratingly uneven, will reach its glorious completion. The journey of becoming more like me is a lifetime process with eternal significance. I am endlessly patient with your progress because I can already see the magnificent end result. I promise to use your life for purposes greater than you can imagine. Your story, with all its unique chapters of triumph and tragedy, strength and weakness, certainty and doubt, is being woven into my larger narrative of redemption. The experiences that seem meaningless now will one day reveal their purpose when you see how I've used them to touch others' lives. I promise that your prayers are always heard. Even when answers seem delayed or different than expected, not a single word you've spoken to me has been lost or ignored. I treasure our conversations. I delight in your approaching me. Your persistent prayers aren't annoying. They're expressions of faith that move my heart deeply. I promise that your tears are precious to me. Each one is collected, counted, and considered. Your grief is never insignificant, your pain never unnoticed. I am near to the brokenhearted. Your vulnerability doesn't push me away, it draws me closer. In your moments of deepest sorrow, I am most tenderly present. I promise that hope will always rise again. No matter how dark the night, dawn will break. No matter how severe the winter, spring will come. No matter how prolonged the battle, victory will be yours. Hope isn't an emotional luxury, it's a spiritual necessity anchored in my character and promises. And my hope placed within you will never disappoint. I promise that joy will return. The heaviness that now presses upon your spirit will eventually lift. What now brings tears will someday bring testimony. The very experiences that have caused your deepest pain will become sources of your most authentic praise. Joy isn't the absence of difficulty, it's my presence in the midst of it. I promise that your faith will be rewarded. Every moment of choosing trust over fear, belief over doubt, persistence over surrender is noticed and treasured. Faith isn't measured by emotional intensity but by consistent commitment. And your commitment to keep believing, keep trusting, keep following, especially when it's hardest, touches my heart profoundly. I promise that nothing can separate you from my love. Not your mistakes, not your doubts, not your failures, not your fears. Nothing in all creation can create distance between us unless you choose it. My love for you isn't based on your performance. It doesn't increase with your successes or decrease with your failures. It remains constant, unchanging, and eternal. I promise that I am making all things new. The brokenness you see around you, the chaos that seems to rule this world, the darkness that appears to be gaining ground, none of these will have the final word. My redemptive work extends to all creation. The renewal happening within you is just one part of the cosmic restoration I am accomplishing. I promise that the best is yet to come. What I have prepared for those who love me surpasses anything you've experienced or imagined. The glimpses of beauty, goodness, and joy you've known here are merely shadows of the reality awaiting you. The deepest longings of your heart were placed there by me, and they will ultimately find their fulfillment in me. My beloved, these promises aren't wishful thinking or empty words. They are guaranteed by my character, secured by my faithfulness, and sealed with my love. When heaven and earth pass away, my words will remain. You can build your life upon them without fear or hesitation. Keep trusting in me. My beloved child, now let me show you the path forward as we walk together. This journey requires your participation, small steps of faith that join with my infinite power to create miracles in your everyday life. First, begin each morning in my presence. Before the demands of the day crash in, before worries can take root, come to me. You needn't speak eloquent prayers, just open your heart. Say simply, Father, I trust you with this day. This moment of surrender is more powerful than you realize. It aligns your spirit with mine and establishes the foundation for everything that follows. The peace you find in these quiet moments will sustain you when chaos surrounds you later. When doubts arise, and they will, don't fight them with fear or shame. Bring them directly to me. The disciples who walked closest with me still questioned, still wondered, still struggled to understand. Your questions don't disappoint me. They invite me deeper into conversation with you. Speak them aloud. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. This honest prayer touches me more deeply than hollow declarations of perfect faith. Shield your mind from voices that feed despair. The world bombards you with messages of fear, scarcity, and hopelessness. Social media parades others' curated highlights while you struggle through unfiltered reality. News cycles amplify the darkest corners of human experience. Entertainment normalizes cynicism and mockery of faith. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind. My word provides the counterbalance you desperately need, truth that anchors you when everything else seems adrift. Remember that my kingdom advances through seemingly small acts of obedience. Grand visions may inspire, but faithful daily choices transform. When you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, generosity instead of selfishness, truth instead of deception, courage instead of comfort, these moments matter eternally. Don't wait for dramatic opportunities while overlooking the sacred significance of ordinary faithfulness. Guard your heart against comparison, that subtle thief of joy and gratitude. Your journey with me is uniquely yours. The timeline, the lessons, the challenges, the victories, all are customized with divine precision for your specific calling and growth. When you compare your behind-the-scenes struggles with others' highlight reels, you distort reality and diminish the beauty of your own story. Trust that I am writing a narrative through your life that couldn't be accomplished through anyone else's. Practice thanksgiving in all circumstances, not for all circumstances, but in them. Gratitude isn't denial of difficulty, it's recognition of grace in the midst of it. When you deliberately look for evidence of my goodness, you'll find it everywhere, in sunrise colors that require no payment, in lungs that breathe without conscious command, in strangers' unexpected kindnesses, in problems solved before they materialized. Cultivate this awareness, and watch how it transforms your perspective. Surround yourself with faith-filled companions who will remind you of truth when you forget, who will pray when your words fail, who will hope on your behalf when your own hope falters. The journey was never meant to be walked alone. I designed you for community, not perfect people, but fellow travelers who understand both struggle and grace. Open yourself to authentic fellowship. It's often through human hands and voices that my comfort arrives most tangibly. Serve others, especially when you feel empty yourself. There is mysterious replenishment that happens when you pour out instead of holding back. The widow who shared her last meal found it multiplied beyond explanation. The boy who offered his small lunch fed thousands. Your seemingly inadequate resources, placed in my hands, become more than enough for the need at hand, and your own soul is nourished in the process. Remember that waiting is not wasting. When progress seems imperceptible, when prayers appear unanswered, when dreams remain deferred, these seasons are not empty. Beneath the surface, I am developing roots that will sustain the fruit to come. Just as winter's barrenness prepares for spring's abundance, your times of apparent standstill are establishing necessary foundations for future flourishing. Embrace the power of yet. Your healing hasn't happened yet. Your prodigal hasn't returned yet. Your purpose hasn't become clear yet. Your breakthrough hasn't arrived yet. This small word carries immense hope, acknowledging current reality while refusing to make it permanent. It creates space for my promises to materialize in my perfect timing. Listen for my voice in unexpected places. Yes, I speak through scripture, through prayer, through wise counsel, but also through a child's innocent observation, through nature's eloquent design, through art that stirs your soul, through seemingly random encounters that later reveal their divine orchestration. Develop spiritual attentiveness that recognizes my fingerprints in ordinary moments. Live from victory, not for victory. The decisive battle has already been won. My resurrection secured your ultimate triumph. You're not fighting for an uncertain outcome but from an established one. This perspective transforms how you face each challenge, not with desperate striving but with confident persistence. Even temporary setbacks cannot change the final result. Allow yourself to receive love, not just give it. Many of my children exhaust themselves serving others while maintaining barricades around their own hearts. They offer grace generously but accept it grudgingly. They believe in my forgiveness for everyone except themselves. Beloved, this was never my design. You cannot fully represent my love to others until you've been thoroughly saturated in it yourself. Open yourself completely to being loved, by me and by those I've placed in your life. When you fall, and you will, return to me immediately. Don't waste energy on elaborate penance or self-punishment. Don't listen to the accuser who suggests you've strayed too far this time. Simply turn around. I am already running toward you, arms open wide. No failure of yours can exhaust my grace or diminish my delight in your return. Expect opposition when you're aligned with my purposes. The enemy doesn't waste resources attacking what poses no threat. When resistance intensifies, when obstacles multiply, when misunderstanding spreads, these often signal that you're moving in precisely the right direction. What appears as evidence against you may actually be confirmation of your effectiveness for my kingdom. Take your spiritual authority seriously. I have given you power over all the power of the enemy. You are not helpless against darkness. You carry my light within you. Speak truth to lies. Command chaos to bow before my peace. Declare life over death. Insist on joy in the face of despair. Your words, aligned with mine, carry creative power that reshapes reality itself. Look for the invitation hidden within every challenge. I rarely remove obstacles without revealing something essential through them. Ask not just, Lord, take this away, but, Lord, what are you teaching me here? The situation pressing hardest upon you right now contains precisely the lesson your soul most needs for its next stage of growth. Anticipate the unexpected. My ways are higher than your ways, my thoughts higher than your thoughts. The solution you're imagining is often far smaller than what I have planned. The route you've mapped is frequently less interesting than the one I'm preparing. Stay flexible, remain open, expect surprise. These postures position you to recognize divine intervention when it arrives in unanticipated packaging. Remember that transformation happens gradually. You won't become instantly perfect, and that was never the expectation. Spiritual growth resembles physical development, with spurts of rapid change followed by consolidation, with occasional regression that doesn't erase overall progress. Be patient with yourself, as I am infinitely patient with you. Celebrate small victories. Notice incremental changes. Trust the process unfolding within you. When you look ahead and see only impossibility, recall the Red Sea moments of your past. Remember situations that had no logical solution until suddenly, dramatically, a way appeared where there had been no way. The same God who divided waters, who crumbled walls with trumpet blasts, who fed multitudes from a child's lunch, who raised the dead to life, that God is your God, unchanged and unchanging in power and love toward you. In your darkest moments, when trust feels beyond reach, simply hold on. Sometimes the most profound act of faith is just refusing to let go. Like Jacob wrestling through the night, declare, I will not let you go unless you bless me. This tenacious determination touches my heart deeply. I honor those who continue believing when every circumstance argues against it. The vision ahead that I hold for your life is breathtaking, far more magnificent than anything you've dared to imagine for yourself. Where you see limitations, I see potential. Where you see endings, I see beginnings. Where you see failure, I see foundation. Where you see delay, I see development. The tapestry I'm weaving through your life contains threads of every experience, the brilliant and the dark, the joyful and the painful, all working together to create a masterpiece of redemption. The blessings awaiting those who keep trusting are beyond description. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, minds have not conceived what I have prepared for those who love me. Some of these blessings will manifest in your lifetime: relationships restored, purpose fulfilled, peace established, joy recovered, provision released. Others await eternity's unveiling, questions answered, tears wiped away, broken things made whole, limited things made limitless. My beloved child, as we walk this path together, remember that trust is not a destination but a daily choice. It's not a perfect, uninterrupted state but a moment-by-moment decision to believe that I am who I say I am and will do what I have promised. Some days this choice will come easily, others will require every ounce of determination you possess. On the difficult days, don't focus on the quality of your trust, focus on the one you're trusting. Your name is forever written on my hands. Your face is constantly before me. Your voice is instantly recognizable to my ears. Your future is securely held in my plans. Your weaknesses are completely covered by my strength. Your sins are thoroughly washed by my blood. Your worth is absolutely established by my love. Keep trusting in me, not because the path is easy, but because I am worthy. Not because you understand everything, but because I understand what you cannot. Not because you never doubt, but because I never fail. Not because you are perfect, but because my love for you is. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Nothing can separate you from my love. Where you go, I go. What touches you, touches me. Your concerns are my concerns. Your future is my priority. Your heart is my dwelling place. Keep trusting in me. The journey continues, hand in hand, heart to heart, from this moment into eternity. And I promise you this, you will never regret a single moment spent trusting in my faithful love.